Let us see what Jesus says to us in Matthew 24, verse 45 this morning. Who then is the faithful and prudent servant, whom the master has put in charge of his household to distribute to them their food at the proper time? The prudent servant, faithful servant, whom the master has entrusted his household, entrusted with his household. That is the key word, very powerful. And Jesus is bringing to us here the meaning of responsibility, to be entrusted with something. That changes everything. Psychologically, we often associate having something with ownership. So it's my education, my position, my authority, my money, my influence, and all that and all that. But what do we do with that? That's the question. Jesus is introducing the stewardship, the spirituality of stewardship. The spirituality of stewardship invites us to understand that nothing that we have is the end in itself, that they are means towards feeding others, distributing to the household the food at the proper time. So in other words, whatever has been entrusted to you is meant for the nourishment of somebody else. And how do you nourish the person that is by your side? Perhaps the question we should ask is, who is being nourished by my education? Who is being nourished by my leadership? Who is being nourished by my faith, by my friendship, by my authority? We flourish because something that God has entrusted to someone else is used to nourish us. So how do we nourish someone else with what God has placed in our hands? And it can go beyond material possessions, so you know. So sometimes another person entrusts to us their vulnerability. They tell you something they've never told someone else. They share their weakness with you. They depend on you. They trust you with their insecurity. They share a painful story with you. They trust you because you're a person in leadership. They trust you with right judgment. So at that moment, something sacred has been placed in your hands. What do you do with that? You might be a spouse, you might be a colleague at work, you might be a partner in business, you might be someone that somebody has trusted something with. What do you do with that? So psychologically, trust creates vulnerability, because when people open up themselves to you, they give you information that could either wound them or nourish them. Which track do you take? Which path do you follow? Do you use what has been entrusted to you to harm or to heal, to nourish or to wound? That is why stewardship becomes deeply relational. So if you entrust me with your story, I should not weaponize your story during our next disagreement. If you entrust me with authority, I should not use it to exploit you. If you entrust me with your safety, I should not compromise it. It can go on and on and on. As a leader, people's loyalty should not be used to harm, threaten them. Because leadership is not a permission to consume the household. Rather, it is a responsibility to feed the household. That is what Jesus is asking us to do today. How do you use it? Your influence, your power, your authority, your professional competence, your parenthood, your priesthood, your leadership, none of these gifts ends with you. They have been entrusted to you. So what has God given you? And who is being nourished because God has entrusted you with something? Remember, whatever God places in your hands is merely a possession. Not just a possession, rather. It's not just a possession. It is a trust. How do you use that which has been entrusted to you? The steward gives account. God bless you.